Welcome back, everyone, to Game Changers. We have our final match of the day, and it's a big one, exciting one. It's the deciding one to determine who goes on to the bracket stage. Up next now, we have Core versus Chosen Ones. But we got Dryad and Tanner back on the desk. But Tanner, what's so great about Game Changers? So we got new faces, returning ones, hoping to elevate their careers to the next step. From these teams, who are the experienced players expected to lead these newer ones to victory?
Yeah, so, I mean, when you look directly at, it's, starting left to right here, Core's been a team that has slowly kind of been creeping up this GC roster really since the start of this year. And they've been making waves. And now they bring a team to the table that has players like Leah Panda and Naomi. Leah Panda previously of TSM, kind of the sentinel player for TSM, then left the roster and came back. And I believe filled the initiator role and was like a crazy Sova on the Breeze that they were playing. And then Naomi having the experience of, CLG version X. And then the rest of the squad, I don't think we're like too convinced as to who the fifth is playing for Core at the very least. But between Gogu, Maple, and Beyond or Peach Tea, the experience isn't, as extensive. It's not the tier 1 experience that Leah Panda and Naomi bring to the group, but it's much like what DSG were doing, where they're, taking some strong players with some up-and-coming players and working all of that together. Eventually, your experienced players are just going to make beasts out of these players who have maybe good individual mechanics and just need a bit more help in the micro department.
And on the other side, for Chosen Ones, you also have some level of experience, though I don't think it goes exactly kind of the head-to-head between the level of experience that Tanner was mentioning for Core of, TSM, version 1 and whatnot, but still, it's the Chosen Ones that have some experience, especially coming from Violet, was part of the Team of Fish Taco that we talked a lot about for the Open Qualifier for Team Mystic as well, and Zoe as well has some great experience when she was part of Team Serenity. So there is some level of teams that we saw in the Game Changer scene, but I think that the ones that you're looking at, and if you've been following Game Changers throughout the years, the one that you're going to recognize the most is going to be on the side of Core.
Yeah, the players for Chosen One, though, at least the core in Mookie, Zoe, and Hyung Won Ho, they've been playing together. I say playing together, but we've seen them play together in a couple of Soccer Cup and a monthly back in April. And since then, they've been quiet. I would imagine they're just trying to solidify. We've seen, like you mentioned, Dryad, right? Violet has gone from Team Mystic Venus to Team Fish Taco, kind of dancing around. And so I think they've just been trying to solidify. I believe their fifth is also a young player in Hesse who is I've heard a lot of things about Hesse in way of being like a cracked duelist, but also an info initiator. So I'm not too sure where this roster lands, but I do know that the core three, they've kind of just been in the incubator, just waiting to hatch. And I mean, they did it in their first matchup, and now they get to try again to qualify.
Well, there's only one egg in a sideshow, okay? And he's not here right now. But I get what you mean, that everyone is growing up. They're just starting their careers. They're just extending it. Core, their first match, they won both their games 13-1. Chosen Ones won their 2 games 2-0, 13-8. It's a bit of a tougher time there. Triad, does that convince you based off of the scorelines that Core are coming and swinging? They're the dominant team to watch out for?
Core definitely come to this match as the favorites because of the same level of the players that we know, and in the same way, kind of it connects to our match number 1 where we had the experience that we talked about from Katarina in version 1. You also have a version 1 player here for Core, and I think that level of experience and kind of the mix between the new players and the veterans are going to really help out for the Core squad. But definitely the scores that we have for the maps, they don't really tell the whole story. We're about to find out what the story looks like.
And Tanner, how many times have you seen either brackets in Game Changers or outside of Game Changers where a team of just relatively unknown players just come out and surprise everyone? Or is the script all usually going according to plan, that the team with most experience is always winning?
I don't think it always goes to plan like that. I think we saw a good glimpse of, man, I don't want to say up-and-comers, but I guess just to, put a bow on all of it and just call them free agent teams. We were delivered a lot of very strong free agent teams, names that you've probably seen kind of sprinkled in here and there. And then we saw, Revival, we saw Akumu, we saw Generators, who I guess for like Akumu and Revival, they didn't really have names that a lot of people would maybe recognize versus players like Generators who did, and they were still creating waves being a free agent squad. So there's definitely a chance, although we talk about the core of core in the experience that they bring into it, there's a world where we see a Chosen Ones Black that comes into this one and does kind of shock the world. If not, they still have another chance, but we talked about it kind of in the green room before this, that coming out of this one, second seed is not a great place to be.
Well, what a great place to be is where our maps are. They've been chosen, they've been banned. Ascent, Pearl, and Haven. Dryad. What gets you excited about these maps? We saw a little bit of Yoru, Pearl. We've seen some wacky stuff thus far. What do you think?
I'm actually very excited for Ascent. I think we're in a point right now where, Ascent, everybody was talking about, everybody's playing the same thing. It's getting really boring. And then everybody started kind of playing different things. So we're definitely at that point of Ascent where teams are more willing to experiment, not playing the meta comp that has been the most relevant for a couple months now. And I think for these two teams, it's a perfect chance to really bring something new and catch the enemy team off guard in that sense, whether it is, something crazy like we saw for our first match, or a little bit more standard where what really changes is how maybe the execute is going to play out, or maybe the set plays that I really like to see on this map.
Yeah, for two of these maps, I think they seemed solved, but then kind of around the world, we saw a lot of changes to the way that some teams are playing Ascent in, looking at an M80 comp with triple initiator and teams bringing in the Viper. Haven has also kind of met that same fate of, people starting to trickle in, hey, single initiator Sky with bringing in Viper and having double controller. So not that I'm saying that I expect it here, but there was a world where looking at Ascent, you're kind of thinking like, okay, here we go. It's Sova, Odin spam. It's Killjoy Sova, B site only, 1-3-1 mid control. I think there are a lot of options. So it would be cool to see, much like we saw from DSG, where they are kind of cooking some things up and they're coming in with comps that, maybe suit their team a little bit better or more individualized to their team. It would be nice to see from Chosen Ones or Core today, an Ascent and a Haven that maybe looks a little different than what we normally see, or away from the standard. Not to say that they have to, because obviously the standard is the standard for a reason, but I think there are options. I don't think we're going to see the boring Ascent or the boring Haven comps.
Well, that was a great pick breakdown of the picks. Sometimes, Tanner, I get curious looking at the bans. Like, what are they hiding? What are they trying to avoid? Core avoiding Lotus, Bind, Chosen Ones avoiding Fracture, Split. Does that tell you anything about... is that just purely a preference? We don't like this maps. Is this a style that they just don't seem very good at? Or are they really just trying to hone in on their very best ones of Ascent, Pearl, and Haven? Does bans tell you anything about a team?
So I think having at least one ban is nice, right? Because then you don't have to worry about all 7 maps. So if we're looking at this and we're saying Lotus and Fracture are the first couple of bans, that to me would say that, maybe Core aren't practicing Lotus as much. And Chosen Ones aren't practicing Fracture as much. When I look at Bind and Split, however, the first thing that I think of is maybe C1 doesn't have a strong team that can play the double dive on Split, so they opt into maybe avoiding maps where you normally would run a double duelist. And then on the flip side, it was Bind is just in such a weird spot because we had it a while back, and then 5 agents got added to the game, and now everybody's kind of running something different. So it just seems like there are just so many, even if you feel good about it, there's so many unknown variables that the other team could bring, whether it be a Harbor, a Gecko, a Brimstone, or not Brimstone. I think it's a team where teams are just, or a map, where teams are just like, hey, I'm all right not playing this one.
Well, we'll see if they're all right playing these agents coming up. We got our select. We got game 1 of match number 2. Dryad, what you think?
We're just talking about, maybe the possibility of bringing something new, bringing that variety that we were just starting to see on Ascent, but it does look like it's going to be the same.
Yeah, mirror comp. I mean, this is the standard, and again, it's a standard for a reason. I was hoping that we would see maybe a little bit of variation from these comps, like you said, Dryad, but it is the way it is. These are just proven to be kind of the go-to. I'm happy that we've solidified our 5th in being Peach Tea for this squad. Peach T can be rocking that Omen for this core roster, who again, they've been slowly but surely kind of been on this. They've been laying this brick road in front of them, and just brick by brick, we're starting to see this name in core rise through the ranks. So I'm excited to see what they piece together against this Chosen One Black team today.
Especially with something that we didn't really get for the match, number one, the compositions that look exactly the same. So then it does get a little bit easier to evaluate kind of who has been preparing this map the most. And Ascent is one of the maps that I feel like is the first one that, okay, this is the first scrim that we're gonna have. This is the map that we're going to jump into. Let's have a feeling for the standard composition. Let's see how we feel about it. Everybody kind of playing exactly what you would expect them to. So it's a good one to make a comparison between the two teams, and teams that we know a little bit off from the players, but they're still proving themselves in the Open Qualifier.
Yep, and a win here for either of these two teams would find them sitting in the playoff bracket. So obviously, a win on the minds as things get awkward for a second. Maple puts himself in a tough spot, tries to dash away, but gets caught up. Leah looking to pick up the pieces as shots exchange. The Nanoswarm doesn't quite find the value Naomi was hoping. And with that, I mean, a kill the way of Chosen Ones, sure, but look at the health pool between both teams.
Everybody's so low, but mainly on this attacking side, 3 players, very, very low. One shot. It's going to be enough to take them down, even though all 5 players managed to stay alive for now. And yeah, that rotation, but it's expected. The 2 players, Omen the K already here.
And a selfless buy from Violet. Full utility purchase for the player here in this one. So 1 Nanoswarm to play with, 1 to clear out Y. Now the site under fire. It is Peach T to go down next. And sure, the health bars are low for Chosen Ones, but there just hasn't been anybody who's been able to capitalize on that. 1 shot needed to land, and nothing happened for Core.
And again, with the damage, with everybody so low, there's still a chance with the spike launch. It does make it a lot more difficult. There's some success here for the defense.
Yeah, now they're starting to capitalize on the low health members. Moving before the flash, though, does not necessarily mean great things. And because of it, Chosen Ones are able to close out the round. A scrappy pistol, but it goes away the attack.
It was really good, nonetheless. With the early aggression that both of the teams met towards that B main and the pressure as well to go down and go for the retake. One of the main things as well that is a good indication to me is what we got to see from Chosen Ones, right? They were able to spot a couple of the players. They were able to spot the Killjoy as well, and they make that rotation all the way to the A side. Even though it was expected by Core, it was not enough to answer in time. And once again, going for this aggression from the defense.
Early B main control allows Leia Panda 1 more pip towards that Hunter's Fury. Small victories here on the side of Core. That's really all they can hope for in the anti-eco.
Take flight.
And also an aggression that is expected, right, from the other side when the anti-eco is taking place. Being a little bit more careful for Chosen Ones. Make sure that you're not giving any one of those duels, any one of those weapons as well.
Yeah, patience and respect from Chosen Ones. Early in this, it seems Hesse might be the deposit. 2 players working their way through. Right click from Leia Panda. Enough to find the first. Zoe there on the trade, and quickly a knife dealt with. So Goku won't get the information that they were hoping for as Violet toss out a bit of utility. A flash on the opposite side. It's only classics, but it's done good for 1. Leia Panda can't quite find a second on the round. So all the bloodshed inside B main. Eventually, things start to settle. I say that in favor of Chosen Ones, but Maple finds himself, plants their feet, and will win a couple of fights and cut it down to a 1v1 with a shrouded step. Peach T will hold down the site. Spike.
I have the spike.
Out of reach, but now picked up.
Time.
Yeah, 13 seconds. I mean, you're just put in such an awkward spot.
left.
A smoke to play with, could drop that down and look to jump on inside. We'll see if they clear this angle. On the head of Peach T, the right click will be enough, and the round is thrifty for Core.
That quarter to be held by Peach T, massive. Right at the end, it doesn't get clear. It's not the easiest one to clear unless you're specifically looking for it, and you see it in that round. Really well done. And things get interesting right away, right? 1-1 the score as the defense is able to answer right back and also playing kind of with the mental game of the time going against them. And yeah, the aggression that they match.
Like what it does to the economy in winning that round. I mean,
look at it.
Yeah, Chosen Ones just have absolutely nothing. It is so heartbreaking to lose that round, especially in that fashion. When we kind of painted the picture, all this spam. Okay, wait, Violet finds one with the classic. Maybe.
They're so low, though.
Look at it turn the tide. Yeah, the Odin spam was a lot.
Brutal.
Very impressive from Leah Panda. And we talked about these two teams. Chosen One kind of have to be the team that gets out in front of this game because Core, on paper, are the favorite team, I should say. And
yeah.
So to lose that second round, it hurts that much more.
Shutting them down. Throwing charge. Force address.
Man, okay, here we go. Oh, no, wait. Violet finds a kill with the classic, creeps forward with the rest of the team, and is allowed to upgrade to the Phantom and makes so good on that upgrade.
Oh, and Leah Panda with that positioning, so scary as well, ends up getting taken down. The flash is good early on by the Omen, but no response right away. It's another one for everybody having to come in from the B side.
Yeah, and the low health bandits, they can't do it again. Everybody was just so low, and they were quickly dealt with, locked into this B site. Now they'll look scary for a second Core, eventually able to stabilize and find themselves the lead.
The economy wasn't really there, as we got to see enough for the attacking side of Chosen One, so we're able to answer just in time and be able to, well, once again, go for the first chance that we get to see from them on this retake, completely surrounded, not allowing for the post-one positioning that Chosen Ones wanted to take, and that is enabling that Blade Storm to be available for Maple. Gonna be investing it this round, as we see no weapon in the hands of the Jet player.
Yeah, no weapon. Oh, man, but the blades, the flash out over the top, a set piece that we've seen, I mean, from city to city, team to team, continent to continent, and it pays off. So huge here for Core. Mookie now finds himself a 1v1. The battle back was there from Chosen Ones, but they fall short just barely.
You see it right away. Good answer.
Gun here.
What I like to see about Ascent, how those set plays look, and the things that both you bring from other teams that you've watched, but also the things that you bring on your own this time around. Making sure that nobody towards mid is able to go and run away alive. And that is going to be the third round secure for Core.
Placing swarm grenade.
Enabling those ultimates now to play around for the upcoming rounds, right? And that comes from both the teams, Chosen Ones, finally being able to invest a little bit more into this round. They're going for the light shields approach as well. So more of the buys that they're going to have throughout this map.
There's an operator on the board. Oh, beautiful paranoia. That's going to force Peach T away. It was playing the aggressive angle inside A main. And with that, backs all the way up. Links up with the team inside tree. And speaking of that operator, Maple now on the front lines to try and stall this A push. But it seems the fragment has done the trick.
Only the Omen is the one for Chosen One that stays just for a little bit longer. Has the ultimate too. And everybody else trying to contest this catwalk. Where, yeah, the operator who's gonna be.
Yeah, Maple playing peekaboo. From angle to angle, will eventually find one. The spam is beautiful from Leah. It's finding so much damage. But again, the answer from Chosen Ones. They battle back. They even the odds once more. Look at the ultimates they have available, Dryad.
There was quite a lot going on for Core as well. A couple of them got invested. Now the lockdown is the one that comes in next for Chosen Ones. Good opportunity as well to clear out that site.
30 seconds left.
And there's very little stall power too. It's going to be Justice Paranoia. Oh, well, Justice Paranoia has been enough. An Anaswarm at the feet, and PC, who backs away, will still find the kill, no less. Ultimates used, but it was all for naught. And Core will find a fourth.
And on top of the Nanoswarm, but it doesn't matter if you get that kill.
Yeah.
That is a good way to answer back for Core as well. It got scary when I see this repeat as well for Maple. Where you already know where this operator is going to be. People expecting this to happen. Gets the second one, and that is really the difference maker at the end. You mentioned those ultimates. The lockdown is the one that gets invested, but there's a little bit more for this round on the side of Chosen Ones to work with. The no command, a good chance here, but the buy. There's barely anything into this round as well.
Watching here.
And not a lot to work with for the attack in way of weaponry. Leia Panda trying to deal with the turret. Will do so successfully, but any angle that turret was watching isn't really being pressured for now. Chosen Ones have
Take flight.
basically all their T's crossed and their I's dotted. They're going to work their way towards the A site once more. Just no commitment yet.
You see Tactic Bear?
Always attack the bear. It's melting my brain, and I don't know why, but I love it so much.
It's great. I don't know how that happens, but I'm
I hope it never changes. Just like wide Killjoy, we need Tactic Bear utility icon always.
So good. It's so good.
Yeah, it is actually. It's all I can think about today, unfortunately. Things quick out towards V site. Recon Bolt reveals a handful, and again, damage the name of the game for Chosen Ones. You can't expect them to hope for too much, and Kyung Won Ho will find one frag. Violet will steal back another. Ultimate available for the Omen is going to invest the plant here into this. Had options to leave this site instead. Will plant their feet, forced to fight Violet. 2 kills on the round, now needs 2 more with a bit of util. And the trusty Sheriff by her side. Peeks through the tap onto the spike. Gonna force the hand of Violet. Will find the spam through the smoke. And that will conclude a 5th in a row for Core.
So many of the rounds that we see actually ending up on this B site. Aside, especially with the compositions that we talked about, the meta and everything, it does get difficult to contest and to play out, but Chosen Ones are able to make themselves all the way into the side, and Core is still good for the retake. They're saving a lot of this util for this kind of scenario, right? The one that you see investing the most, and obviously for good reason, is Leia Panda early on going for all that, for the drone, as we got to see into that round. Trying to spot where the players are going to be, if it's going to be a little bit more aggressive towards B as it was for the pistol. And if not, then you have all the chances there for the retake. The lockdown 2 available, 2 Hunter's Furies, 1 on each side.
Yeah, I think the thing that hurts the most right now for Chosen Ones is, I mean, that Hunter's Fury has to be used for the Naomi lockdown, right? That's the counter that's available in that situation, whereas at least for the next 3 ult points, Leia Panda has options to use this Hunter's Fury. If she can find some information, you know, she's not just sitting on that ult to stop Violet's lockdown because it's not available.
That also allows for Leia Panda to maybe be a little bit more proactive if needed for how this ultimate is going to get invested.
Yeah, well, not for now at the very least, as the only ult that'll be used is the overdrive, but it doesn't matter. Maple teeing off for 2 kills of their own. Violet looks to get something back, but the spam is just so darn good. Leia Panda will eventually be answered, but Mookie, 23 HP in a dream. Naomi crouched around the corner, will sit her down, and the reign of terror from Core does not stop.
Double check it, please.
But the same idea too towards that B side at the end. Very slow towards the beginning of these rounds, as we were seeing for Chosen One, but that is the problem, right? The operator now that is in the hands of the Score Squad, you don't know where he's gonna be located, especially on this A side. We've seen it towards Catwalk as well, and is able to shot down every single one of the executions that Chosen Ones have attempted to make here. So it's looking pretty good for the defense, and granted, that is what we expect for this map, right? The domination of the defense more often than not, but Chosen Ones here wanting to enter back, finding some success, trying to put that Jet into positions where success is given. And it can really work out, right? You have 2 of those initiators, your flash initiator on the KO to go right in, maybe play around the A side a little bit more.
And Chosen Ones will get Coach Vitali in the mix. Maybe try and find a read on this defense. We've seen, obviously, success, I say, in taking the sites. I think B has been giving them a bit harder of a time, and it doesn't get any easier, right? The economy looks so good that this Odin is just going to continue from round to round. You're always going to have to worry about this spam. And I love the changeup, right? We see Leah Panda probably understanding that they're getting tired of the B spam, so she actually mixes it up and is going to be playing Catwalk this round.
And this on the pistol was enough to back for Chosen Ones.
Ooh, Hesse going to go up top, still searching for their first kill, and Leah Panda wise to back away from the blades and won't give it up.
Gonna hold on to this for a little bit longer. They've contested this market area before, but again, it always ends up on the B side. Are they willing to switch it up, especially as the Omen is walking up there?
The drone is a Tactibear working its way through tree out to mid, and I don't believe it spotted anybody as Hesse pushes deep into enemy territory. Maple ready for it. Sits them down, and Violet not quite ready on this angle, so counterpart for counterpart, but it's Core out on top, kills to none, as Leah will find some information back away.
Towards Street doesn't get any easier up close, and now they know where this Odin is.
Still gonna try for it though. Ultimate available. Poor Young One Ho, and a couple of kills to their name here. She's just opened this thing wide up. Can ult to grab that spike. Can look to plant here on the A side. Does she come back? Okay, yes, she does. I don't think they had the information on both defenders being here. The Hunter's Fury now queued up from Zoe. Maybe waiting to see if the defenders look to push aggressively. Will now start to deal with the lockdown, and that must have been a mini-map call. Gogu,
Yeah.
huge to find that kill, and now Zoe put in such a rough spot. Fragment will make sure this spike goes halfway. Now the fight to be taken, and it's Gogu to win both of them here in the retake in a 7th for Core.
And the 2v2 as well, where the lockdown gets invested, the Hunter's Fury as well. But a play at the end, as after the spike gets planted, that is just not easy at all, right? One of the players playing right on side, expecting the aggression coming through from heaven, expecting 1 or 2 players there. Ends up getting taken down, and seems like probably without even seeing what was going on because of the Hunter's Fury. I know, timeout actually coming from Core, yeah.
Yeah, Core gonna call a timeout here. I can't imagine really what this could be about. I guess maybe the small amount of miscommunication that allowed Young One Ho to find a few kills walking into this A site. Maybe things were getting a little too cluttered in way of comms for Core.
Yeah. It was also a round where Core really changed things up, right? Where we saw Leah Panda actually playing a little bit closer towards that A side, towards Street, as well towards Garden, and trying to back up around it. And also adapting to what Chosen Ones was trying to bring to them into the early rounds, always keeping it a mystery where the players are going to be located here, especially Maple, right? That's the one player that you want to make sure is in the right place, right time, and Core has done so.
And we have been blessed. We have been blessed
That's a
for
way to say it.
another podcast moment, the Tandan podcast here with a technical pause. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think, like you mentioned, a lot of moving parts in that Core defense from the round previous to the timeout taken. It got a little hectic, got a little maybe too scrappy than they wanted, so they take that timeout and say, how can we shore this up? And they come back with another look. It seems Maple playing aggressively inside A main. That's where we saw the op postured up there for a moment.
Yep. And also trying to figure out, right, when you're bringing these kind of new ideas, how many of those you want to keep bringing in a row? How many you want to switch up, though? That is not what's happening right now, right? It's a technical pause. We just had a tactical one. That's when they were talking about it. Technical pause, a little bit different.
Yeah, and Dryad, we are now technically paused.
You've said this so many times.
I know. I thought you were going to finish my sentence there, and you just left me hanging. We're technically paused.
That is not something I would say.
Oh,
So,
okay.
That's on you. You put yourself there.
Dryad's looking for a new duo, guys. Dryad's looking for a play-by-play. Anybody out there?
Oh my god.
My brain is melted. When Hesse walked up mid
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. Maple ended up finding that kill.
Yeah.
I mean, this Tactibear bug has really sent me reeling on the day. To see the Tactibear working its way through tree, I mean, yeah, that melted my brain. And I'm hoping that this technical pause does nothing to fix it, and it looks like it didn't. Every time we're POV cam, now we've got Tactibear, the 6th defender, out towards
it feels
mid for
good.
core. Yeah.
It feels good. Everything is fine when you see the Tactibear right in the middle of the map.
Suppressing.
Yeah, all is right in the world. Both of the timeouts taken, like you mentioned, Dryad, tactical, then technical. And with that comes a slower default here from Chosen Ones. And, I mean, they're going to do it again. Alarm bot will tip this off. Hesse going to go all the way into the back lines. This time there's no defenders home, though.
Nobody there, but also the spike left all the way in the spawn. So, yeah, like you said, a slower default that we get to see for Chosen Ones.
Right here.
And a team that, even then, has been playing pretty slow, right? You maybe get to see a little bit of aggression towards B early on as they try even to shut down where the Odin is, but after that, they slow it down and they go in.
Oh, man, things get awkward for a second inside the smoke. Hesse thinking it was just free reign inside tree. Instead, a player there to meet them, but Chosen Ones fight back. Zoe not able to find too much with the recon bolt in time, so sends a bit of spam. Oh, look at the spike. The spike is on a solo mission here, Dryad.
It seems like there were different ideas going on for Chosen Ones, right? For a second, you see them going right, going to the A side, then going B. Seems like it was a call definitely coming through for Violet. Having the spike, wanting to go here, commit with the ultimate.
Yeah, and knowing that this might be happening, Naomi pops a nanostorm and now pushes aggressively here, tries to get in front of the play, and Naomi goes huge for 3, needs to find one more before the clock ticks down, won't be detained. But I mean, the job's been done here. Jungwon Ho in such a tough spot, a 1v2 with 6 seconds, forced to stick the plant, and will do so as Peach T is the first one up. Look at a challenge here on the fight. Jungwon Ho finds a first. The spray won't land for the next. It's Gogu to hang on. But what a round from Naomi.
Massive. And the read as well was perfect. Even though, again, you could see that there were different ideas coming through for Chosen Ones. When the Killjoy was the only one going towards that B side, the plan was having that spike planted, going for the lockdown as well to take control. But it was something where QOR was already one step ahead of how this play was going to end up looking like. And yeah, Naomi, because of it going massive just outside of the smoke, based on 3 players. And with the time left, there was nothing else to do. A good attempt there by the Omen. But that 1v1, too much. And QOR continue, the lead continue. Oh, those 8 rounds now, 1 in a row.
Yeah. 8 rounds in a row after losing the pistol. Ooh, Maple was not expecting that one. I believe Hesse finding their first of a few kills there. Can't quite find the next, but Mookie there for the trade. So favorable for the attack for now. Last round from Chosen One seemed a little overcooked. In their mid take, hit the alarm bot, go deep into spawn, they leave it, they look to go elsewhere, and then they refake, go back towards B. A little overcooked, things didn't work out. This time, now they have a player advantage.
And is it going to be enough to convert this into a round win, though? That is the question. There is no command available here for QOR. Yeah, it's going to get utilized right away.
They should slow things down. Good wherewithal from QOR to understand that this is going to be taking place. Inside the smoke, a barrel was spotted. The spam won't land. Violet now looking to play upset, looking to play backstab, and there's 2 players who might not be ready for this one. Spike to be planted. Both players just looking the wrong way. Violet only capitalizes on one. Peach T ready for the trade. We'll eventually find it, but trades are not favorable for this defense as there's still a player down. Zoe gives herself up, and Naomi's happy to take that frag. Now both players pinching the attackers here on this A site. Jungwon Ho been the first one up, the first one taken down. It's Peachy to find that frag, make it 3 kills on the round. A heads up round from Peach T to keep the win streak going.
Oh, and even when Chosen Ones knew where these 2 players were going to be, how the push was going to look,
Wait until I blind
the bullets
them
don't
strike.
connect the way that they want, especially playing so up close, right next to the door. I don't know where the swing is going to come through in, but that is another round here. That ends up being very successful for Core, a team that has managed to stay on top. Yeah, after that pistol, they lose the pistol. It doesn't matter. They make it look like it was nothing. The chances here very limited for Chosen Ones on this first half. An old man to work with and very aggressive once again towards mid.
Yeah, same play that we've seen from Core. This time it's received so incredibly well from Chosen Ones. The defense keeps pushing forward, but Chosen Ones keep knocking them down. Now it's all up to Peach T to play hero once more. A 1v3 this round. Seemingly out of reach.
Spike planted.
With the door closed as well. The options here so limited for Peach T. 1v3.
First up, the counterpart, and well, that is all it will take. So, I mean, Core, they try and go back to it, but Chosen Ones,
in the half.
I mean, they had that mid-play read so well, and they received the aggression so well.
That was really well done. And for Chosen Ones, it was just in a matter of seconds where everybody on the other side was taken down thanks to them. But also, a Jet from the squad, from the attacking side, starting to find some success. We kind of saw a slow start in the first couple rounds, no kills found, and then slowly you get to see this duelist kind of getting that momentum that if you're a fan of Chosen Ones, you want to see them holding on to for a little bit longer. The last round here on the half might not make it easy at all. Not aggressive towards mid once again. Kind of the opposite of anything. Once again, the spike on the floor all the way to respawn. Knowing that information as well, the Core has some big ultimates for this round.
And my question is, when does Mookie decide to use the null command units? Right here in the sight hit. It's not going to help in stopping that lockdown, but will help in trying to enter this side. Hunter straight from across the map, and Leah Panda just has a beautiful avenue to send the shots down. The true shot barrage, all three will land, and Core in the driver's seat here in the last round of the half. A resurrection will find Mookie back on board. A lockdown now available, and this will keep the attack off of this A site. Zoe creeps forward.
No charges left.
Unfortunately, dies because of it. Inside the cloudburst, it was not enough to keep him alive. And a 2v4 with spike in hand. Chosen Ones head across the map.
Left.
With 30 seconds, that rotation taking place towards that B side, but the defense, you know, they're gonna catch them here, Leah Panda.
Yeah, Leah Panda ready for this. Here's the footsteps. Violet, though, answers back. 2 pips away from the ultimate. Just needs to try and sneak away. Instead, will look to take a fight out towards mid, and Maple does Maple things as Core will find double digits here as we swap sides.
Oh man! The same way that we saw our match number 1 of the day, that 10-2 in the half.
Enemy remaining.
Looking pretty good for Core. Especially for that round, right? There's so many things going on that Core was able to read just perfectly. That null command coming through, and Leah Panda being protected, being able to avoid this ultimate. Taking down 2 of the players, and then going for the lockdown, giving no opportunities. And with a couple of rounds left, it's a must-have pistol round for the set of Chosen Ones.
Yeah, a must-have, and even then for Chosen Ones, I mean, we've seen them win the pistol and fall victim to a thrifty round in the next. So they need to, I think, piece together a few rounds, make the fans in chat believers. We go flash, recon bolt out over the top, a flash in response. Violet, ooh, okay, things get awkward. The dash from Maple is not to safety, and because of that, 3 kills are found for the defense, completely unanswered.
And a perfect way, right, for what we just talked about. Chosen Ones trying to get this pistol, trying to hold on to it. The shot start good enough to take down Leah Panda, and is Naomi now left alone in a 1v5.
Yeah, I mean, if there was ever a way to do it, that is the way. A flawless pistol round, a convincing one for Chosen Ones.
Who are we to disobey?
Very, very clean for Chosen Ones on this pistol for the defense, too. I think also it just comes from a little bit of what Chosen Ones did on the pistol, right? Meaning and playing for the aggression this round towards mid, where everybody was taken down, and there was some attempt of a crossfire there. That ends up working out as the players for Core jump right into the fight. So that means that there's not going to be any force coming through for the attacking side. It's going to be the better rifles, the better weapons coming for Chosen Ones.
And this is very reminiscent of the last time we saw Core lose the pistol. They say, hey, this anti-eco round maybe doesn't mean a whole lot for us. At the very least, we can try and find these small victories, and it's seemingly the ult orbs. But then after that, they won the round. So anything is possible here.
The small tasks there. When the rounds are pretty much against you, you're still accomplishing a lot for the bigger rounds.
And flashes out over the top, make things awkward here from both sides. Peach T collects 2 kills with the classic. Maple somehow survived pushing into this site and was actually getting shot at, I believe, by Zoe, who's now gone. And Core put themselves maybe not in a winnable position, but as the kills continue to come through for Maple, it's seeming more and more winnable each time. 2 Bulldogs to the classic and Sheriff of these attackers turn defenders. Now Maple gonna look to put themselves out in front of the play. Can't find the shots onto Hesse. Too much to worry about there. So danger for Chosen Ones, but they are able to scoop away the round.
The smoke there from the Omen to isolate that fight, make it easier, ends up going exactly that way. It got very close. It definitely got scary based on even what we got to see in that first half, but Chosen Ones, they take control again and they look to hold on to it for this bonus round, for this 3rd round.
Player standing.
Man. Maple proving themselves pretty scary force to be reckoned with. A pretty scary force of nature, especially with just that Sheriff. Now it's full rifles. Core gonna actually be able to play the game this half to the bonus. Chosen Ones. And what's the answer, right? What have they cooked up here in this lesser buy round? It's just patience, though.
Towards mid once again, but nobody on the attacking side willing to contest this early on. Heavier presence on that side, if anything, and they killed you util to deal with. It's calling out some rotations though, that drone alone. And this is a plan for Core.
Deployed.
As soon as this defense realizes that this A hit isn't happening, they might look to rotate back over towards B, but Core is rotating this way. It's all about the timing, right? How long does it take for the defense to actually leave? And do they hear the footsteps through main? And it sounds like they do. So now everybody from Chosen Ones getting called back here. As Core push through the small paranoia is there, but it doesn't matter. Leah Panda still finds the frag. Out go the lights for Mookie, and there's just no response. Maple 2 kills of their own. Goku will find another, and it's just too much of an ask for Violet here. A 1v4, a Stinger, and a Sheriff. Tries to pick up a rifle. One-way smoke comes through for Peach T, and that'll be the end of the round. Core finally back in the win column.
With the mental game, this is for Core as well, from right to left. The drone that so far util towards that A side, calls some rotations from B, then actually is that KO knife on the B side. It starts to call some rotations, the player just making all their way there, and guess what? That is when Core decides to go right in and get the round. After the orbs that we saw for Leah Panda, she was able to secure for that 2nd round. Guess what? The Hunter's Fury gonna be available first ultimate here in the 2nd half.
Yeah. Ooh, Hesse gets flashed off the angle playing this one with the Marshall. No, the dash again. The dash just works poorly there for Hesse. Does not get them to safety. Because of it, they've been punished. Meanwhile, crossfire from Tree and Jenny. It doesn't matter though. Maple, any chance that Core had, or Chosen Ones had, to scrape up anything in this round, it's all been stripped away. A 4K for Maple, and they're looking to get off of Ascent ASAP.
How did Maple just do that?
Yeah.
What just happened? The 2 players pushing heaven, and Maple gonna handle it just fine. The spray transfer ends up with a headshot. And 4 kills by the end of the round. Last time out for Chosen Ones. And 12 for Core, so a massive comeback having to play to perfection to stand a chance here, and it does get very difficult to get a play like that one take place. We've only seen it a couple times, but for chosen ones, we've seen some very good signs of life right on this map, especially on this defensive side. The pistol, the aggression that they go for towards mid. So look at the last opportunity here to get something going on for them. The lockdown gonna be here, gonna be available for a potential retake, if anything.
I mean, that last round, obviously Maple gets a 4K, but what that does, more so than just the kills and winning the round, is Leopenda never had to use that Hunter Shuri. So now that one ultimate that is, you know, seemingly the light at the end of this tunnel for Chosen Ones, I mean, there's a counter on the board. So we'll see who pulls the trigger first on those ultimates, but the one ray of hope might get clouded over. As this A site, there's only one defender here. Here comes that Hunter Shuri, though, so Lockdown will be able to come in play for the retake, should Violet rotate safely.
So that means maybe following up and trying to meet up for this Lockdown is going to be located if it gets a chance to do so.
Wow, yeah. Oh my goodness, Hesse with a good couple of shots out towards mid. Cuts down 2, Maple gone. Naomi fell just before that. Corner not cleared though, and the kills are starting to swing back in favor. Operator in the hands of Hesse will find a third, but is now the last one standing in a 1v2. Down goes the fourth, but can't find the fifth. Explosive was Hesse, but QOR a bit better as they find themselves a victory here in map 1.
In that last round, no way it just ends up that way. When the last round, we see the 2 kills for Heze with the operator finding some value early on. The spike gets planted. You have the tools, and yet it's still the players coming up on top for the side of QOR. And that is what we saw from the beginning, right? After that pistol, it was so many rounds in a row, pretty much undefeated for that first half. Makes a comeback on Ascento difficult.
Yeah, a bit more resistance. QOR coming into this series off of a couple of 13-1 victories. This one, it's a little bit deeper in the game. It's difficult when you just, if you give QOR an inch, they're obviously going to take a mile. That thrifty win in round 2 really seemed to be all they needed to get that snowball moving forward, and they do find themselves one map the lead. Now 1 map away from qualifying to our playoffs, but that will come to you after this short break.